Okay, well, I think we are where we are, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to this evening's presentation of Chromebook for Valley View parents. My name is Dianna Walker, and my co-host is Brian Dennis. We are both members of the Village of Bolingbrook Information Technology Commission. We are very excited to be here tonight, and we thank you for joining us. Our goal is to help you learn more about how our children are using their Chromebooks for remote learning. The format for this evening session is first a general overview of the Chromebook software, followed by specific examples of how the primary grades use the tool, and then a student-led example of how the middle school students use their Chromebooks. During the presentation part of the session, you will be on mute, but you can submit questions via the Q&A function on the screen. We have allocated time at the end of the formal presentation to answer as many questions as we can. With that said, I turn it over to my partner, Brian. Take it away.
Hi, thank you, Diana. So thank you for joining us tonight, everyone. As Diana said, we're going to talk about the Chromebook tonight and how our students in the Valley View School District is using the Chromebook. So before we get to how they're using it, we first want to give you a short presentation on the Chromebook. And this presentation is meant to give you a basic working knowledge. It won't make you an expert, but and to give you a basic overall working knowledge of how the Chromebook, how this device operates. You may find if you're new to the Chromebook and you're used to Windows or maybe even the Apple Mac, it works a little bit differently. So I'm going to take you through this brief presentation. So Chromebook 101, we're going to start off with giving you some tips on how to use the trackpad and some hotkey tips. So let me get this video started. There we go.
So this is a Chromebook. Compared with most laptops, it's lighter, faster, and lasts forever on a battery charge. The catch is, the only program it runs is the Chrome web browser, but that can do a lot thanks to installable apps. It also helps to know a few tricks to use its trackpad, keyboard, and file system. Use 2 fingers to scroll, both vertically as well as horizontally. A mouse click is just a light tap, although you can also push the trackpad in. A right mouse click is a light 2-finger tap. Dragging is done by pushing the trackpad in with 1 finger and dragging with another. Caps lock is gone and has been replaced with a search key, but Alt search key will bring back your cap lock. There's no delete key, but Alt backspace acts as a delete. There are dozens of other keyboard hotkeys, and you can explore them by hitting Control, Alt, question mark. Take screenshots, swap windows, tons of tips are there for power users. The Chromebook is designed for cloud-based storage, but you do have temporary storage directly on the Chromebook itself. Hit the search button and look for the Files app. You'll find a Downloads folder that will store any screenshots or downloads that you might have made. And there's a local backup copy of your Google Drive files, but that's only for when you want to work offline. When you're done, be sure to turn off the Chromebook by holding the power button for 5 seconds. This will seriously prolong the battery life, and since the Chromebook boots up again in just seconds, it's a good habit to get into. So there's a quick overview of Chromebook use. Look for links in this video to learn more about what you can do with this new technology.
All right, so let's review that. Maximize my screen. I like to equate the Chromebook scroll and clicking to a mouse. So remember that they said a single finger tap is like a left click on the mouse. Single finger tap on the trackpad is like a left click on a mouse. The right click is using a 2-finger tap on a mouse. Let's talk about the scroll action and review that. To scroll up and down is a 2-finger motion, 2 fingers to scroll up and down. And use 3 fingers to navigate your open tabs that you have in your browser. In the middle there, use 3 fingers, and the 3-finger swipe to navigate that. And then finally, the 3-finger scroll down motion, that'll show all your windows that you have open. Okay, hotkeys. So there are a number of hotkeys that you can use. And we talk about hotkeys, we're talking about those key sequences that you put together to help you do basic functions. Now, again, if you've used these hotkeys or these shortcuts on the Windows, they're basically the same on the Chromebook. That is one good thing. Control C is still copy. Control V will allow you to paste text. Control X, you can cut. So you can see them all listed there. What I want you to take away from here, so you don't have to remember them, is just Control Alt question mark. If you hit Control Alt question mark on the Chromebook, that'll show you all the interactive keyboard shortcuts. It's Control Alt question mark. And if somebody could type that into the chat, that would be a good one to remember, so you don't have to remember all the other shortcuts. And there's many more than the ones we have listed here. So let's talk about the workspace of the Chromebook, the desktop itself. In the lower left corner is what we call the launcher. And you click on that to open up the launcher, which will show you all the apps you have on your device. That's what you see here. That's what the launcher would do. And the launcher is like the Windows start button, if you will. And at the very bottom of your Chrome, that bottom row, that's the default position for what's called the shelf. Okay, so the shelf is where you could put some shortcuts to these apps. So as you see over here to the right, you have a number of apps that you can find in the launcher. You can put a shortcut to any one of these apps, and they will appear on your shelf for quick, easy access. Okay, the file manager. This is the one that stumbled me the most as a parent when I work with my students with this Chromebook. I'm like, where are your files? Where's the folder? Where's the file explorer so I can see where your files are? Here's the mystery solved. Let's take a look at this short video.
Hi, I'm Raymond, and today I'm going to show you where you can save files on your Chromebook and how to manage them. First, I'm going to explain where you can store your files. You have 2 options here. You can store them in the cloud, or you can store them locally. Your Chromebook can save documents, PDFs, images, and a variety of other media in these 2 places. To save your files locally, use the Downloads folder on your Chromebook hard drive or an external storage device, like a USB drive. But keep in mind that the Downloads folder is meant for temporary storage. Now, let's walk through how to save and manage files on your Chromebook. To save a file from the web, 2-finger click and choose Save As. This gives you the option to save the file to the Downloads folder or in your Google Drive. Now you can use the Files app to access and manage your files. To open the Files app from your desktop, click the launcher and then the Files app icon. On the left side of the screen, choose the file collection you'd like to browse, such as Downloads, My Drive, which is your Google Drive, your external storage device, or another cloud-based storage option. To find a file, click Search and you'll see the search results from the folder you're currently in. To upload a file to the cloud, drag it from Downloads to My Drive. To move any of your files, just drag and drop. And for easy access, you can pin the Files app to your shelf by doing a 2-finger click and selecting the Pin option. Now you know how to save and manage files on your Chromebook. If you need additional assistance, visit the Google Help Center or the Get Help app.
Okay. So the Chrome Web Store, let's talk about that next and how you get apps. As you can see here on this slide, I want to point out a few call outs here. Over here, the district has a collection of apps under this link right here. And these are basically apps and extensions that have been reviewed by our tech staff at in the district, in the Valley View district. Okay, so you have a bunch of apps there. You have a bunch of Google apps. You can use these filter down here because there are a ton of apps for the Chromebook. You can use these filters down here to filter out the sort of apps that you're looking for, which ones are free, which ones are by Google, which ones run offline. One thing I want to point out about the Valley View 365U collection is that there are a lot of apps there, and you might find that when you go and try to add one of those apps to your device, that you may get a warning that you need a administrator to grant you access. And my students have found that out, and I think they're just locking things down when they issue these devices. They have it set so everything's working perfectly. So if there's ever an app that you need to use and you're encountering that message, just have your student ask their teacher, and they should be able to help them with that. Again, what we're just showing here is when you see all of the apps and you hover over it, it would just ask you if you want to add it to the Chrome, to your Chrome device. And you can also delete them after you add them. You can hover over the app and just right click, which is a 2-finger right click, and then click remove, and you can remove an app or an extension that way. Screenshot. Sometimes you want to take a screenshot, a picture, an image of what's on your screen. So the control in this, what I call this screen icon, screen or task icon, that's a key on your keyboard. Hitting those two together will take a full picture of your entire screen, and it will save it in a download. If you want to select a portion of the screen, you use this key sequence, Control, Shift, and the window icon, the screen icon. Hit those three simultaneously, and when you hit those three, you'll be able to then select part of your screen, and again, it will save it to your downloads folder. Okay, we got another short video here about Wi-Fi. Obviously, when you get the Chromebook, if you haven't done it already, you will need to connect to your Wi-Fi at home. So let's take a look here at this video on find out exactly how we do that.
Your Chromebook is equipped with a wireless networking card. We'll show you how to use it to connect to wireless internet. Before you try to connect, ensure you're within range of a wireless access point and that your wireless card is enabled. On the bottom right-hand part of your desktop, click the status bar, then click No Network. If your wireless is disabled, the next window will let you know. To turn on wireless, click Turn Wi-Fi On towards the bottom left of the window. The system will search for wireless networks in range, then display ones found after a few seconds. Click the network name you wish to join. If the wireless network is password protected, Chrome will prompt you to enter the password. You can also check the box next to Share this network with other users to share the password with other user accounts on your Chromebook automatically. Once the password is entered, click Connect, and the system will connect to your router. Sometimes, if you change your password or try to connect to a router with a similar name, you'll have trouble establishing a wireless connection. To fix this, you can forget previously remembered networks. Click the status bar and then click Settings. Click the drop-down arrow next to the wireless symbol and then choose Preferred Networks. When you mouse over the network's name, it'll become highlighted and an X will appear to its right. Click the X to forget the network and then click Done. If you need additional help with your Chromebook's wireless, check out our support site at dell.com/support. Thanks for watching.
Okay. So finally, 5 tips that we're going to share that most people don't know about the Chromebook. 5 tips for the Chromebook.
Well, here it comes, folks. These are the top 5 tips I have for dealing with a Chromebook that most people don't know about. Okay, so the first neat little trick that I'm going to show you today is dealing with your tabs here to break them up into separate windows. I can simply take this tab that I'm currently working on, and if I click it and drag it down, it pulls it away and creates it as a brand new window. So now if I minimize this, you can see that I have my other tab in a separate window altogether. Now if I minimize both of these, I have these sort of small on my screen now. There's a couple of things that I can do in an effort to multitask here. If I drag this one over and I actually touch the edge of the window, you can see the sort of shadow that comes up. And if I unclick that, it locks it into that half of the screen. Now I can go ahead and do that to this other side as well. And this one here has gotten skinnier so that I can have 3 separate windows open, or I could literally like drag this across to make it go half and half. This can also be done on the keyboard as well. So if I select this tab here, by pressing on the keyboard Alt and then the bracket, we can lock it in halfway. So again, either way that you wanted to do that with the mouse to click and drag to the side, or Alt and brackets will move it across from side to side. That way you can have multiple things open and multitask while you're working on things. Let me maximize this window to show you our next little trick. This one is absolutely awesome. Keyboard, Control plus F. I want you to notice that there's a little box that's shown up here. What this is a search bar that I can search text on a web page. So let's say, for example, I type in mastery. And if we scroll up a little bit, you can see right here that mastery has been highlighted. Now, something to note about this, though, is it does not search images. It searches plain text. As you can see clearly above it, it says Mastery Manager. And because this is an image, it is not able to locate this. But this here, as plain text, it is able to identify and find it. If we bring that all the way back to just the letter M, look at what happens there. Okay, so a search window can be open for any web page, and it will literally search any plain text that's in that web page. Neat little trick. All right, so now let's talk about our systems and display. If you would like to access the files that are located on your Chromebook quickly and easily, keyboard shortcut, Alt, Shift, and M. And what this is going to do then, it's going to open up our Files app. It's things that are stored locally on the device. So if you need to access screenshots you've taken or any other files that you've downloaded to this, that keyboard shortcut is called Alt-Shift-M, and it opens up the Files app. Here's another good one for you. Did you ever find it where you had to walk away from your Chromebook for a few minutes and you didn't want to leave it unattended? Keyboard shortcut is Control-Shift-L. And I have now just locked my screen. What's crazy about that, though, you see my locked screen, but I know you can still see me. How's it going? My screen is locked. Nobody can mess with this if I walk away from it. Well, let's sign back in. Again, give you the last tip. So here's the last tip, and it is a bit meta. That's right, M-E-T-A. It's a bit meta. The keyboard shortcut is Control, Alt, and the question mark. Now you can see on the screen it brings up a keyboard. In fact, what this one does, this keyboard shortcut gives you access to all keyboard shortcuts. I'm currently pressing the Shift button down. You can see that button is highlighted on the keyboard here, and then it highlights what that button will do in combination with other buttons when they're pressed. If I press Control, look at all of the different keyboard shortcuts that I can access by pressing the Control button or the Alt button. And when you're sick of looking at these keyboard shortcuts, you can press Escape and it will take that all away. And there it was. My top 5 tips on dealing with Chromebooks that most people don't know about. How to set up your windows to be able to multitask, how to search through plain text on web pages, how to open up the Files app quickly and easily, how to lock your screen if you've ever got to walk away from it, and of course, how to access all keyboard shortcuts. I hope that helps you in dealing with your Chromebooks. Thank you for joining me.
Okay. So that's everything that we wanted to share, that I wanted to share. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And Diana, I'm going to turn it back over to you so we can see what our students are actually doing with the device.
Awesome, thank you. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Excuse my mess behind, but it's the easiest way to get to what I need to show. So the first thing we're going to start with is Clever. I'm working more with elementary students because my child is in elementary school. And so they have found that by using Clever, it allows them to log into Clever, which leads them into the other apps. So they only have to log in once rather than every app that's on their system. So we're going to talk about Clever, and then it talks about where to find the Google Drive at the very end. So we'll walk through it. So this talks about opening the Google Drive at the bottom, or Google Chrome, excuse me. To get to the Google internet system, search. Oh my goodness, I'm having a great day today. Woohoo! So you open Google, and you open Google Chrome in order to enter bvsd.org Clever in the search bar. You can either enter it at the top or where it says search Google here. And then once you've done that, it'll take you to the screen that says Valley View Public Schools. And then you click on login with Active Directory. And most of the students know this, but just so the parents are aware of how to do it, we're kind of going over it for you. It asks for the email address and their password. So the email address is actually their student ID number at sd.vvsd.org. And then they have a password. Every student knows their password. It is a numbered password, so it's a month, a date, and a year. So you enter that, and then what happens is they'll go into Clever. But for this screen, it talks about the Google Chrome multicolored waffle over here. They've actually kind of changed it. It's this one right here on the Google Chrome. On the Chromebook, it's switched to over here. This one doesn't lead to anything, at least on the elementary students' computers. So you don't use this one, you would actually use this one over here. So if your student is looking for something and looking for an app, they're actually all right here in this circle. So that's the end of that one. And so that is about Clever. And then what Clever leads into is actually Freckle. Freckle is another one that they use for the students. It's how they can give them work to do to work on their own. So the teachers can teach, and then they, at the end of their instruction period, they give the students something to do in Freckle. So this kind of talks about that. It also talks about, you know, that the parents are not really supposed to do the work for the student, especially in elementary school. This is for the student to do on their own, but if they have questions, the parents, obviously, we love parents' help. So it talks about parents can support students as they navigate the program. Students should complete the tasks with limited parent support. Helping students through the assessment will accelerate them in the program, and the tasks will be at frustration level for the students. So you don't want to help them too much, but you can clarify things along the way. The information from this program will help teachers to deliver instruction that is tailored to your child's needs. Assignments from the teacher will be completed first. They're always located in the From My Teacher section. So there's always 3 sections, one from my teacher, and then there's ELA, and then there's math. There are a variety of assignments that your child will experience. Some assignments will be based on grade level expectations, and some assignments will be at your child's level. The child will receive some practice in each subject area for math and ELA that will adapt to your student's current level of performance. If you have middle school or high school students, they use a different program, not Freckle. I think it's called Achieve, but we're talking about Freckle. So as I already mentioned about the Clever dashboard, as you log in, this just kind of revisits it again. But here it shows you the apps that are out there. So each grade level is going to have their own apps, but what they're using right now is, this is Seesaw, and this one is Freckle right here. So those are right now currently the most important ones. And that's what we're kind of focusing on today. And then this is that page I was telling you about with the math and the English, and then from my teacher. So this is their to-do list. Every day they'll have a to-do list that they have to work on, and they get assignments from the teacher. And then as they work on that, they actually get an avatar. And so they earn points, and they can decorate or change or update their avatar. And, you know, all kids are about avatars at this point, you know, everything on the computer, right? And then this last page kind of gives you what it would look like for the students. So they have the ELA. They would click the start, and it takes them into the activities that have been assigned by the teacher. And then you always want to have your student finish those first. And then they'll say that there's extra things that they can do as well. And then there is a spot where they can click to hear the directions read aloud. So if they're not sure what it says, they can click that. And then they click to turn the pages right here. So it works them through the system. So if they have questions, now you can help them and tell them how to use these things. Again, this one reads text aloud for them, gives them a hint, video support. So like for this one, it would read to them, find the missing number, so that they could see what they're working with and hear it, in case they're not a strong reader. In other words, like kindergarten and first grade would be using this type of thing more often. And then of course, if you have your child and they're really confused, or if you're really confused, you're always welcome to reach out to your child's classroom teacher. And then this is also a blog where you can get more support as well. So we just like to touch on everything so you know what is available to you. And then I did want to show, let's see, it's actually over here, this one, where you can see for the older kids in the same group, the equipment in sync parent support. So it talks about different things. So it's still the same as what I was talking about under Freckle, because it's the same idea. But as you work through it, it has the same login under Clever, but it has different information on the apps itself. And so for your older students, they're going to have Eureka Math rather than what we saw in the first one. So I just kind of wanted to show that to you, that there'll be assignments from the teacher, and they just click on the assignment. And then for like math, it would be a little bit different. Like the screen looks much different than it was in Freckle. So you can kind of see where it's going. There is an option to save the work, your accessibility options, review work or flagged items, or unattempted items. So these are things that when you go in, there are things that you'll see. So you'll see what the teacher has done, like flag an item. And then you can also, of course, make it full screen. Some of the math resources that are there, you can click on find to get to them. There's lesson videos, fillable application problems, problem sets, exit tickets, homework helper and homework. There's also options for science, lesson videos, science journals. So these are all the different things that your student has at their fingertips for resources to help them with their work, even though they're at home. And then last but least, of course, if you are still not able to figure it out, always feel free to reach out to your child's classroom teacher, because they're there to help too. So, and then I wanted to kind of touch on what Seesaw looks like. So when you open Seesaw, there's two versions. There is a family version. So the family is just an overview. So it'll show you a home, a journals, and an inbox. So home just shows you what your child has tried to do. And then as you work through it, you can see, like you can scroll through the page to see what they've done and what they haven't done. And then you have inbox. So if you have any notes from the teachers, that'll show up here. So you, like for instance, we have notes from the teacher and then also from the principal, reaching out to everyone. So home and journals are about the same, but then the inbox is your notes and information from the school. And then for the students one, what they have is their name at the top, telling them how many things are outstanding. And then they have a journal. And depending on how the teacher sets it up, the journal can actually be your entire class. So all of their work that it's out there available to do. And then there's activities. So this is what your student needs to do. So right now, my student has 5 activities that she needs to do. And then you have the inbox, which is notes. So this is notes to the student, also to the parents if you're reading it with your student. So we have messages and notifications. So here I'm showing you the activities. So she just has to finish up some things from today. Just write some notes with the add response. And then here are the notifications. So this is responses from the teacher from items that the child or student has done. That way they know if they need to correct something, it's graded right away. So it's kind of actually a neat system. And then again, we have messages here. So they send them out to the whole group. So this comes from the teacher where she's telling us about what they have to work on. And then you also have school announcements, which I don't have on here, but that's what is out there and available. And then last but not least, we do have a, not I personally, but out there available for parents is a VVSD parent network for remote learning on Facebook. So if you are on Facebook, you can join this. There's currently 1,600 members, and a lot of information is out here available for parents. There's teachers on here. There's lots of things out here, and they have great information where you can search. So it's definitely something that's worth looking into. If you are on Facebook, it's definitely something that's available to you. And that is everything I had to go over with today.
Great. Thank you, Diana.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
So Diana gave us a lot of great information focused on the perspective of the elementary school student and how they typically use a Chromebook. We got 2 student volunteers for middle school and what the middle schoolers in our district commonly use. And so we're going to start off with Bria. She's a middle schooler at Brooks School, Brooks Middle School. And she's going to talk to us about Infinite Campus and how she uses an Infinite Campus.
All right, I'll start sharing. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming. I hope everyone has had a great day so far. So today, I will be showing you guys a tour of Infinite Campus. So I saved my bookmark here. And I'm already logged in. So let me show you what it looks like. So here's the home area. This just basically shows an overview of everything. I'm going to start off with the calendar page. So the calendar page obviously shows what day it is. It also shows you your attendance, schedule, and assignments. Under the Assignments tab, you can see there are black dots under the dates. Under the dates, okay, that shows you when you have an assignment due. Now going on to the assignment page. The assignment page shows you what assignments you have completed and the score. It also shows you what assignments you have missing. We are now on the grade page. The grade page shows you on the current grade for each class when you click. When you click on the grade, it will show you how you got the grade. So I'm going to skip over gradebook updates because it just shows more grade information. So I'm now going to go to the attendance page. So the attendance page shows you how many times you've been absent and late. And finally, I want to show you your schedule for each class. It shows you the time your class starts and ends, the room number, and your teacher. That's it. Thank you for listening. So now I'm going to hand it over to Riley, and she's going to talk to you about Google Classroom.
Thank you, Bria, and welcome parents. So today I will be giving you an overhead of Google Classroom. To get to Google Classroom, you can either search it up on Google or click on your bookmark. I have a bookmark ready, so I will use that.
Hi, Riley. Can you, okay, there you go. You're sharing your screen. Thank you.
When you get into Google Classroom, you will see a workspace. In that workspace, you will have all of your classes, and to add a class in the top right corner, right here, click on the plus button that says Join Class. Clicking the plus button will lead you to another page that allows you to add a Google Class code that is provided by your teacher in Infinite Campus. This is where you enter the class code. You can type it into that bar. And once you're finished adding the code, you press this join button right here, and your class will be added to the workspace. So once you have added the code, your class will be here. So let's choose a random class. So it looks like I have chosen band. And when you first click on your class, you will be in the stream tab. And in the stream, teachers can post assignments and announcements, and students can comment on what the teachers have posted. The next tab is classwork. So your classwork shows all your assignments, and it shows when it's due. And if your assignment is blue, that means that it hasn't been turned in yet. If it's gray, that means it's been turned in. So the next tab is people, and it basically shows all of the students in the class. So next, in the top left, this is the main menu button, these 3 lines. And when you press that, this thing will pop up. And here are classes. This will take you to that main workspace we were in before. This is the calendar. It shows all of the dates. This is your to-do list, which shows assignments that you've completed and that you need to complete. And these are all of your classes. So let's head back to the menu. And this is how you navigate through Google Classroom.
Thank you, Riley. Thank you. So at this time, Jerry, I want to open it up for any Q&A if you don't mind checking the chat and see if there are any questions from anyone that we can answer.
Hi, Brian. We do have one question, and the question is, how do you end unresponsive apps? Is there a shortcut?
Is there a shortcut other than powering down the device? That one we would have to look up. I don't know if anyone else on the phone knows. I think
Diana?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. When an app locks up, Clever, for example, is there a way to get out of it short of rebooting? For example, can you go up to the tab and just close that tab and that closes that application out?
Oh yeah, I that's what you should do, is definitely, you probably don't need to, with Chromebook, you really don't need to shut it down completely like you would most other computers. But when something locks up, like even Zoom, you know, with everybody on Zoom, it does have that tendency. You literally just go up to the tab and you can close it, or you can hit Shift plus Escape and that will close it as well. But yeah, you can just go up to the tab and close the tab itself and reopen it.
Okay, great. And a second question was, where do I go if I need help? Valley View has some help options. How do I find out what those are?
Right. As a matter of fact, if you don't mind, this is a great opportunity. I'd like to share my screen again to answer that. Jerry, okay. If everybody can see my screen, and we'll try to get this added on our website after the presentation, but you can see there's a few important links here. One, help desk right here. Valley View has a great help desk, and I know that not just from researching all the material, but I've called them a couple of times. They are knowledgeable, they are responsive. We couldn't connect to our wireless one time from Chromebook. We couldn't log on one time They are very good and very responsive. So again, under the vvsd.org, there are a number of great help resources, but the help desk one, I would keep that one on the refrigerator. That's going to be your single source of truth to resolve all of your problems. And again, there are a few more here since we're here. I'd like to show. This is our Village of Bolingbrook Information Technology Commission website. And we'll visit there right at the end to show you how you can register for the upcoming webinars. The presentation that we shared is at this bit.ly link. Again, you don't have to write all these down. We'll try to get them added to our website so you just can find everything there. Of course, VVSD. But the help desk, that's the big one there. Use that one for sure.
Okay, and Brian, Diana, you did such a great job. There aren't any other questions that people are looking for the answer right away. I'd just like to mention that we will be putting a recording of this session up on our website, on the IT Commission website, so that folks that haven't had a chance to join us this evening can watch it later on and learn these valuable tips from all the folks this evening.
Yeah. And also, I'd like to thank all the thank everyone for joining us tonight. I hope you found this information useful, and Jeffrey Fisher from the Library Studio Services, he's the Library Studio Services Manager. Thank you for setting it up and providing all the technical support. Jerry orchestrating it, everything for us and preparing us. And of course, my partner, Dianna Walker, helping present all this material to you guys. So as we close out, I do want to take you to just one more share on our website and remind everyone, if I can, here is the Bolingbrook IT Commission website. And as you can see here on the events page is where I'm at. Here are the upcoming webinars. So we ask you to please feel free. Everything is free, so you can feel free to join us. We're going every other week into October, I believe here. So not next week, but September 24th, customizing the Chrome browser, 7 p.m. start. And then in a couple of weeks after that, Women in IT panel discussion. That's a 7 p.m. start. That's October 8th. And October 22nd, we'll finish up with the entry-level opportunities in IT. Also a 7 p.m. start. So they're all free. Just make sure you register. And again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight.